Right, mate, we're back. We're back. Just a quick one this time. We decided to do a little video. Obviously, stuff's going to come out about us soon, about what we're doing and apply our plans. So we thought we'd get our case out there instead of rumours starting or people just making stuff up about us. So we just wanted to put a couple of rumours to bed. The first one is why we come off in the first place. So obviously, I don't think we've done anything since November.
Is that when it was?
I think so. There's been rumours flying around that, people shut us down. We had to come off. We've been told to come off. As you can see with us being back, that is totally untrue. Nobody told us to come off. There was bits behind the scenes said by, I think Mark Burkett and Graham Dell tried to stick their oar in. They never once told us we had to stop doing any of this. As shown, like we're back again now. We did it for certain reasons.
We'll explain. We're going to do an end of season.
We'll do an end of season, so we'll go into it with more details. But basically, we did it for our own reasons and for the reasons of one of our players. It all panned out right, didn't it, in the end? So we're back again. So we're back again, just doing our bit, telling you what's going on, why we've made certain decisions going forward, and where the club's heading. So first one, we ended the season. I think second half of the season went really well for us. We started to beat teams. These teams who have been in it a million years, they started to get beat by us, who have been in it 2 minutes. Yeah. Probably upset a few people along the way, I hope. I think we did. And we've got to the end of the season and there was a reprieve. We was given a reprieve for finishing second to bottom. Now, to understand what a reprieve is, you can only get a reprieve at the end of the season. You cannot receive a reprieve at the beginning of a season. That's how it works. So at the end of the season, we was given a reprieve to stay in Tier 1. Sadly, we've had to turn that down due to certain reasons, which we'll tell you now. But it was tough, wasn't it, why we decided to do it. I'll let you speak a bit more about it, because I think the ball started rolling when I was away. You've had a few discussions. We've talked about it. I think we moan about it every time we go away, don't we, whenever we chat about it. So Dan will tell you a bit more about why we've made this decision.
Well, it originally all started with looking at a restructure with Tier 3. So that was how the initial discussion sort of started. And there was discussions around a restructure in terms of changing 3 leagues into 2, which isn't happening. At no point was that suggested that was for us to stay up, but one of the suggestions I made was looking at a potential north and south in Tier 1. That couldn't go ahead. It's not within the NFS guidelines as something that could happen. So it quickly changed in a way that I was going to stay on with Tier 3 anyway, a couple of discussions.
Just for them who don't know, Dan, if you don't know, Dan's the chairman of Tier 3. So Dan runs Tier 3 and Chris runs Tier 1 and Tier 2. Sorry, mate.
So we discussed that. Chris then come up with numerous ideas on what next season might look like, one of them being promoting more teams and growing the leagues. He asked me if there was an option of East Riders staying in the league to fill one of them slots. Would I take it? My answer was, if I'm honest, no. But it's not my team. It's Dave's team, so you'd have to ask him. He asked you, and I think your original answer was yes.
I want to stay in Tier 1 for the wrong reasons. I want to stay in for a bit of ego. I think Tier 1's no different to Tier 3. The only difference is the players are better in Tier 1 than Tier 3. The clubs are probably better in Tier 2 and Tier 3. There's more clubs, there's more youth teams in Tier 2 and Tier 3. But Tier 1's the prestige league, and it seems to be the better league.
And I think we also, like I say, some people don't like it, but I think by the end of the season, I think our players prove to themselves and prove to you that they can compete. Yeah. So I think the first half of the season, I think we got 1 point, and the second half of the season we picked up 12.
Yeah, we've got 4 wins in that.
And if you go back to the first one we did, one of these videos pre-season, we said it's probably going to take us till Christmas for these players to learn the rules, learn the game, etc., etc. So everything that happened come true. And I think someone said on a club call the other night, like, we just left it too late. Which, yeah, we did.
Just going to flick these lights, mate. They don't matter.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, annoying, aren't they?
So then that offer was put to us.
Again, I'll just set another rumour straight. We did not get the offer based on Danny's friends with Chris. That was never a part of the deal that we stayed up because Danny's friends with Chris. We got given the offer because the league needs to grow. I think everyone said there's not enough competition in the league. So when the league finds a team who can compete, they want to keep them in that league. So it was supposed to be open up.
Well, the league do. I don't think the clubs do.
The clubs don't. The clubs don't know. They can see. The clubs want. Some clubs want us, and some clubs made it clear they don't want us. I think 3 clubs. I'll name them now anyway. Yeah. Loughborough thought it was unfair that we were staying up. They should be relegated because that's the rules.
But just to clarify that, a few things were said, and Bruner's put something as well about rules being followed, and other people more about rules were followed. We were relegated, and at the end of the season, after that last game, the season ends.
Yeah.
Then you start restructuring for next season. Yeah. So this would have to have been passed at the AGM. Rules were not broken last season, but some people are thick and they don't understand that.
No. And we was given a reprieve, like I said, it was. But
if you look in football, I reckon there's probably at least 20 reprieves in the football this season.
Absolutely. Because
for various different reasons.
For all sorts of reasons. They haven't got the facilities to come up, the structure's not right. So we was given that reprieve, but like I say, Loughborough objected to it, thought it was unfair. Bloomsbury objected to it. That one really stuck in my throat, which I'll tell you why in a minute. They objected to it, thought it was unfair. That they should have told Derby before the season that there was a chance to stay up. But you can't tell someone there's a chance to stay up till the end of the season because that's when the reprieves are given. So that one's a bit hard.
That's just for the integrity of the league.
Yeah.
Just so the season sees out how it should.
And I believe, was it Maidenhead?
Maidenhead
put a document in saying...
forward saying the league should be 10 teams and these are the teams that should be in it, and that meant we shouldn't be in it.
Yeah, and it was cost saving and they wanted to save a quick quid here and there and, dear God. But yeah, the Bloomsbury one stuck in my throat because they went on and it wasn't right and they should have told Derby.
I don't think it was all of Bloomsbury, but Sam
was on the call on the other night. We had a big Tier 1 call, went on for 2 or 3 hours. But what sticks in my throat with that one is Bloomsbury finished bottom of Tier 2 and got a reprieve.
Yeah.
They didn't get told halfway through the season they was getting a reprieve. They got to the end of the season finished, they got a reprieve and stayed in Tier 2. He's accepted that one and took it. Didn't quite like what we'd said. It didn't quite like us staying in Tier 1. So we fell on our swords on that one and we've gone. But like I said, the biggest reasons for us is...
Well, there was that moaning, so there was Tier 1 moaning, and I think there was a lot of moans from Tier 2 as well.
Yeah.
Tier 2 teams were moaning, which I found ridiculous, because I won't mention any names, Birmingham. I won't mention any names, sorry. But why would they want us in the league next season when they're trying to get out? Unless he thinks he can go up this season, which might happen, I don't know.
They might beat us, but it'd be easier without us in it.
Exactly.
If you hadn't got us in it.
Well, we said it did with last season, we'd rather Derby stay up because we don't want them coming down, because we'd have to get in front of them.
Yeah.
That's what we said a couple of seasons ago.
So it's harder for them to get in front of us, But that's by the by. There's a few moans.
There was just moans all around, wasn't it? It was just like, but I don't think you understand. We don't want this as much as you think we do.
No. But the biggest thing for us is what... And people maybe think we're bragging, whether we're dicks or we're going about it too much.
I feel like when I'm talking, I feel like people think, shut up, Danny, you're bragging, you're a wanker. Stop talking. And I feel, but yeah.
But we have to just state out the obvious. I think the bare minimum now. There's always talk. How can it all progress? How can this league progress? How can the teams progress? Then you get the Pacitis of the world and all the other bandits there, the get along gang. Why aren't FA giving us money? All right, we don't need FA money. We do. So I'm saying now the bare minimum for this sport to go forward is you're doing what me and Danny do. He does it all day, every day. I'm at it every night, and Danny's at it every night as well. So we're out every night, 2 or 3 hours a night. Danny's doing it in the daytime. We're doing it Saturday mornings, sometimes Saturday afternoon, and then games on a Sunday. I think that's the bare minimum now clubs need to do for this sport to move forward. If you're not doing that, there's not a chance the sport will ever move forward. So, and to me, and I said it to a couple, Maidenhead was one of them, if you're not doing that, or you're not willing to do that, drop out the league and let someone else in who's willing to do that.
A York or a...
I like Eagle. I'll use Eagles because I know them quite well. So Eagles are in Tier 2 now. They're our rivals. We actually share a court, Sam. We make that work, sharing courts and stuff like that. Sharing changing rooms. We don't moan about who gets the changing room. So we they've got a better setup than most Tier 1 clubs. They've got all the youth set up. They run a league as well, which rivals ours. They've got a first team which operates well. The only difference between their setup, their first team and another first team is you've got better players. So Maidenhead, I'll use them as an example again. You've just got better players than Eagles. But Eagles' setup is completely far superior to yours. So what I'd say is the league takes a step back, gets all these dead weight out of the league, the Maidenheads, the Loughboroughs, the Hartpuries, kick them all out and promote. And the league would take a step back, I know it would, with quality, and promote the teams, the Yorks, the Carlisles of the world, all these teams will want to progress.
West Yorkshire.
West Yorkshire's another classic. Put them in Tier 1, the league would suffer for a year or two, but in 3 years' time, it'd far go past where it is now, not a doubt. But we'd have to take that step back to go 3 steps forward, and then clubs would say, this is what you need to do to achieve this level. And then, if we shut the rest of them up, the Pacites of the world, the FA might start looking at the sport in a different light. It's not just Pacite, is it? It's Cambridge as well, another one who got a reprieve. They got a reprieve this year as well and didn't get relegated.
I think he begged for us, didn't he?
I think so. Please, sir. Please, sir. You know, don't you? He'll be watching 'cause he's my number one fan. But it seems like that. Oh, I think, do you know what? You haven't done it this year. Take a step back, drop to Tier 3, show us what you're made of and come back stronger. And we're hoping we're taking a step back and we're going to come back. Just, keep everyone happy in futsal and balance the world out, and we'll come back stronger and see what we can do next year. Put our money where our mouth is. But we're still willing to put into the sport, but I don't see Tier 1 don't match what we want. So I don't see many other clubs doing what we're doing. So you're not matching us. So it's got to work in business. It has to be a partnership.
So we did all our projections, didn't we? Well, we did our budget. We looked at our finances and our end of year projections, etc. And I think we're bound to come out after paying for Tier 1, after paying mine and your salary, after paying for everything this year. We should come out with a profit of around £6,000. We've estimated, haven't we? 5 or 6 grand. We've got a choice. We've got a choice what to invest that money in, and the money that we spent last year. Do we do it again? And I think we're wasting that money in Tier 1. I would rather spend more money and the league go further. But I just got the impression teams would rather save money than spend money.
They did seem obsessed with referee fees and how much. 2 or 3 didn't. I've got to say, but Cookie said a lot of sense. Not interested in how much the refs was. Let's get them in. They are what they are. Let's pay it. And I am to a degree. I've got my different views on where we should be using the money for the refs, but we'll say that in the future one. But there was a lot of people, half the people talk sense, and half of them wanted to save money, cut costs, and
I think my biggest frustration is that hardly of them didn't speak. And I know it's not everyone's personality, but again, I was trying to get my point across quite aggressively, but it was just pure frustration.
Yeah.
Because you can see this league is stuck with just teams that are good enough to be in it, but not making any effort or putting any money in to try and make this sport grow. It's just what they want for their team.
Well, that's the difference. I think what we look at, we're a club, and we want our club to grow and do the best and get our aim. When did we start? 2018. This club, Maidenhead, and we've surpassed you in every way now. I believe, and we've done that through hard work, not by just sat on calls, writing memoirs and all this stuff. We've actually we've done it ourselves and got us here, and it's surpassed everyone.
And what I also said on the call is, not only have we done that, we've done it with players who have never played futsal before.
No,
we've had a couple out. We see your Mitchells and your Fabs and people like that.
Gone,
but like our squad now is full of 18, 19-year-olds who their first ever club was East Riding Futsal Club. We haven't got any international players. Every other team, I think, has. They've got at least one international player. We haven't got any. We've got an under-19. That's it. Everyone else is, and we've had to get to that point. Like I say, I know we have been doing it a long time, but we're here now, and we're ready to go further. But what's the point? That's.
But there's only 2 or 3 teams wanting to go further. The rest are happy to not go further. So this is our decision why we're looking to step down. People aren't matching our ambition. They don't want to do what we're doing. They've all got their own excuses why they can't do it, which is fine.
Yeah, people are volunteers. They've all got full-time jobs, etc., which is fine. But then I'm not gonna. This is my full-time job, so I'm not going to spend all my money in a program which other people can't.
No.
And
this is why I think they're a little bit selfish. If you don't want to do it or can't do it, step out. Have a chat with Chris and just say, look, I think there's better clubs underneath us coming through that they could do a better job than us.
But it's egos.
It's egos.
And we've had to admit that our egos was what wanted us to get in Tier 1.
Absolutely.
And probably what wanted us to stay in Tier 1.
It was.
But when you actually, like you say, scratch the surface, what is the reason? I said it on the call, there's 3 leagues you can play in. Tier 2 is probably the better one in terms of overall cost, locality.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's the decision we've made.
So, yeah, we don't want to fall out with anyone, but we just wanted to put the record straight while we're dropping out, not by no one's told us to. Danny ain't fell out with Chris. There's nothing going on behind the scenes. We've not been paid to drop out or anything like that. It's just is what it is. And until teams start to match what we're doing, which again, people listen to this, they'll either agree, disagree.
Well, let's talk about the deal that we've just done. So the deal we've just done, so we're looking at a new venue. We've always played from university. It's a great facility, amazing facility. We've extended this season. It met the Tier 1 requirements, etc., etc. But we've decided, you know what, we need a home.
Yeah.
We need somewhere. We need like an so we need something where people can come. It's just yours. Not that I don't think we'd charge people to get in, would we? But somewhere where you can come in and you ain't got to worry about netball next door. You ain't got to worry about the noise you make. Can you put on an event? So we've done a deal with the school. Again, we've managed to get a venue free of charge.
Yeah.
So, well, it's not free of charge because we do a lot of volunteering in the school. It's basically, we do put a lot of hours in for you, and can you give us them back on a Sunday afternoon when no one's using the facility? So again, that doesn't just come from a conversation, that comes from
that's 2 or 3 years.
2 or 3 years worth of building up a relationship. So that's what we're going to do. They've allowed us to put the speakers in. We're going to get all chairs out. Because like I said, that last game against Genesis, watch the video. Every seat in the back is full. There's benches full of kids. We can't get any more people in. People say, why don't you put stuff on social media regarding your games and stuff? Because I'm afraid people turn up.
Yeah, we can't get any more in. So if it come, they'll all be stood in the hallway. We cannot get any more in. So when I asked like certain questions, what are you doing to get people in? What are we doing? Well, I'm doing nothing. Danny does it all for us. So he gets people in. He'll put it on our social media, not on Twitter or anything like that. And he advertises the game and people come. We're getting about 70 or 80 to the game because that's the maximum we can get in at the minute.
Well, I spoke to some people asking to come and they went, I can't get there till late because we play football in the morning. I can never get sat down.
Yeah.
So
we need a better venue. So our venue now is going to be roughly 30 by 20, something like Odsal. But again, we didn't want to go through the Tier 1 rigmarole of everybody voting on it. Everyone, it's too small, the pitches are too small, and blah, blah. But I will say my last thing about what I think finished me in that meeting was we must have had another an hour discussion on pitch sizes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's killing me. It just wipes me out. And I will explain myself behind this because I say it all the time, the pitches are too big for players. The pitch is too big and everyone, it just goes like a tumbleweed comes through a group. So what I mean when I say the pitch is too big, I've said this to Dan, if we had 5 of me on the pitch on a 40 by 20, I could last for 40 minutes, not a problem, right? But that game would be so slow, it's unbelievable, because I'd have to pace myself. If you then have 5 Wayne Rooney's on the pitch, well, it'd be amazing pace. And it'd be so fast. His touch is good, he needs the space, he's got the fitness, he can get all around the court, and he can do it for 40 minutes. What our players do is think they need a big court. They go on there they can maybe do it for, you maybe see it for 2 or 3 minutes in a game, you go, hey, here we go, and then it stops. Because they cannot do it. I know we all think we've got the best players and they're all ultimate fitness and they can last forever, but we're 86th in the world for a reason. And we're 86th in the world for a reason, I believe, is because the players playing the game are at a good enough level. They're at a level of 86.
Well, I think you said something yesterday which made me laugh. I think you understand, especially in football, you understand the level you're at by who's getting paid what. And you must be at a very, very low level when the only person actually getting paid on that pitch is the referee.
Yeah.
So that probably shows you where.
That's where the sport's at, isn't it?
Yeah. So what level is that? Do you know what I mean? That's lower. Step 6 is you get paid in step 6. You might get 20, 30 quid.
It's the level our ref at. And that's what I look at. And you look at it, so there's 2 reasons you're playing at that level. You're either playing way beneath yourself, or that's your level, where the referee's getting paid more than you. So it's only 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah.
So if you are playing way beneath your level, you've got to ask the question why and how you're ever going to improve. So when I say the pitch is too big, I don't mean the pitch is too big and they can't run. The pitch is too big because it looks slow. And a great example of that, I can't speak for Louis me and Danny went to watch the semi-finals at Hartpury.
Again, for our sins.
So we just went to watch the semi-finals, again, to sit with a crowd of about 12 or whatever it was. And Louis was sat, I won't speak for Louis, because Louis can speak for himself, or I won't speak for you, Dan, but I watched it at two semi-finals, and I think the word I used was, it was a painful watch. And I know everyone will say, he's riding what you want about, because we watch your games and they're shocking. Our games are shocking. There might not be a lot of futsal, but I tell you what, it's end to end, it's fast, it's furious. Whether you like that sort of style or not, that's on you. But Jesus Christ, I watched them 2 semi-finals. God, it was boring. Slow, boring, massive struggle. Don't know what you thought, Dan. You can tell them what you thought. But this is when I say the pitch is too big. Your players aren't good enough to get around the court at a speed. You can get around the court, but it's slow, and the game's slow, and it looked boring. But
I think people won't see it unless they regularly saw a higher level. It's like going to watch, I don't know, a step 2 game after just watching a series of step 6 games. You'd go, oh wow, yeah, I can see the difference now. But I think you mentioned about the women's game, didn't you? And the blokes, like if you watch an England women's international, they can all pass the ball. They've all got the same touch. They've all got the same techniques. But there's something about the way the men do it, it's just that bit sharper, which makes all the difference. And I think that's just probably where we're at.
That's where we're at, but we have to understand where we're at and how it goes forward.
I don't think again, this isn't nothing against Liverpool, but again, they've used the word elite on social media, and it's just like, I really struggle with that word. I get why they have to put it, because they're trying to get people to come and get involved, and it's the top level, but elite is the best. Do you know what I mean? It's just not, is it, unfortunately?
I say it all the time, anyone will listen. The people are playing this sport for a reason, and probably the reason is 99% of the time you crap at football, and this is the sport for you. Because the referees, if you could have made it in football, you would have done, or you've seen a cheat way to get through into the best stuff. Same with the coaches, same with the players. Some of the players play both. A lot of them just play this. If you're just playing this, I question why. Maybe you don't like football, I get it. But the better, who could be futsal players are playing football. Now, I know you'll know a lot of footballers who you could bring into this, if you could bring into this sport, who would destroy the full England team. And it is what it is. The England players and the ones we've got, the England players, because that's the best we've got playing the sport. But you're not at the level. They're not at the level. And hence, I keep saying it, ranked 86th in the world, level with New Zealand, I think, football.
But yeah, let's bring it back to us because you're ranting again about.
I know. I'm just trying to justify why I've left, but I don't really need to. The basic is.
I think the reason we're always done this video is because, like I say, Horton's been sharing a load of shit, which included stuff about us, and before any more rumours get out,
we've chose to step down. We've chose to step down basically.
It's not for money. It's not because our play's not good enough to prove that. It's purely because I've lost faith. I personally lost faith in the futsal community as a whole. I don't think we want it enough.
No.
I say it all the time, don't I? I said it to our lads about training last season. How much do you want this? And it's not by saying it, it's by actions, by doing stuff. And when I go in these meetings and people are talking, we need to do this, we need to do that. I don't believe them actions are going to take place.
No.
Simple thing, just like Joymo. Like, you can put a bit of effort into that, and some people put none.
Well, we put the score on. We got a commentator on. We did Joymo every week.
Stop clock.
And the clock on. I think Manchester, for example, one of our prestige clubs, just stuck the game on. No score, no commentary, no time. And they're our prestige club. Not good enough. And then when I say it's not good enough, they get a bit upset with me. You must see that, and you just think, what's the point? If that's because Chris said you have to do it, no, we'll just do that then.
It'd be good to go back to Chris and say it hasn't worked and we've done everything you've asked us to do. Then you've got a point. But I think when you put minimal effort in and then just complain it didn't work.
Yeah. You can't get it.
I think ultimately what it comes down to is there's a lot of excuses.
Yeah.
Whether it's Horton and Tissot and all them, the excuse seems to be the FA. That's their excuse. I think Manchester's excuse was COVID. Well, they couldn't get fans in anymore.
Had 2 seasons to get them in, but COVID's killed that one.
So there's a lot of excuses go around, and people probably say we make excuses as well. But we've had an opportunity. We've decided it's just
like I said,
it's not.
The rest of the clubs in Tier 1 aren't matching what we do, so it don't work. You can't have a business where one partner's doing this and the rest are down here doing that. The sooner or later something gives, and we've just decided to drop to 2. Yeah. And that's all it is. But we'll be back. We'll be back shortly doing end of season review.
Yeah, we'll go through.
We'll go through everything. All the referees. What happened? You're not safe, by the way.
What happened? Yeah, what was said about our podcast? It wasn't stopped, but there was something said. There
was said, and we'll say what was said, who said it, and why we pretty much come off doing the podcast. But that's that. So it's just a quickie to get out there. Put all your minds at rest. So all the Tier 1 referees now, you can breathe easy again. You've got rid of us, oh dear. So yeah, you can all celebrate.
But we're not slowing down, are we? We're growing the club.
No, we're
looking at other areas in which we can grow the club and give up further opportunities to our kids that are involved. But we will be trying to win Tier 2, and we'll have a look. If we did win it, we'll have a look what Tier 1 looks like then, and if not, we'll.
I just hope if Tier 1's still the same as it is after this year, that the teams that are in it who've done nothing take the hint and drop out. That's what I'd ask you. There's half a dozen of you doing nothing.
Snap. What happened, mate?
And drop out. But I hope you do. But I'm 100% sure you won't, because, like I said, you're a somebody in this sport. And if you drop to football, you'd be a nobody. And you're holding this sport back. You know they are. And that'll do us there, mate.
Yeah.